You don't need a fancy, expensive camera to capture high quality videos for YouTube. You can get really beautiful results using just your iPhone. And I'm gonna show you how in 7 simple steps. There are a few key settings that can make or break the quality of your videos when you're filming on your iPhone. I made a deep dive video about this that you can watch up here if you wanna see the long version, but since you're here anyway, let's do a rapid fire round of the settings that you should use when you're filming videos on your iPhone. Okay, so first you're gonna open up your settings, go to camera, and then look for formats. That's what we're gonna change first. You're gonna switch over from high efficiency, that's gonna be the default, select most compatible instead. Then navigate back to the main camera menu here and select record video. Okay, we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna turn off HDR. If that's the only thing that you take from this video, please let it be that. Turn off HDR, you're gonna thank me later. If you've ever struggled with weird overexposed or washed out footage when you've brought it into Premiere Pro or Resolve, it's probably because you were filming in HDR. So turn that off and you won't run into those problems. While you're here, let's turn off auto frames per second. And for video quality, we're gonna select 4K 30 frames per second. With all of those settings selected, you should be able to capture beautiful high quality footage and not deal with weird glitches and editing issues later. Okay, tip number 2, focus on your lighting. Lighting is really gonna make or break how good your footage looks when you're filming, especially on an iPhone. Fancier cameras like my Sony ZV-E1, for example, have these big, beautiful sensors that allow them to capture lots of light, even in low light situations, but iPhones don't have that same advantage. So instead, we need to help them out by providing the best lighting conditions that we possibly can. And there's a few options on how you can do this. Option number 1, face a window. I am very fortunate in my apartment to have big windows, which is a great source of natural light for me. And it's the primary lighting source for all of my videos. Now, there's a couple options with this. You could sit beside a window so that the window is mostly lighting up one side of your face and letting the other side of your face kind of fade into shadows. This is more classic portrait or like Rembrandt lighting. That can be really beautiful. Or for a different effect, you can set up your camera facing directly away from the window so that when you're looking into the camera, you're looking straight out the window. This way you will fully light your entire face, kind of giving it a more even look. Either way, what you never wanna do is sit with the window behind you. It's gonna turn you into a silhouette or otherwise blow out the window and just make it completely a big bright white background. So choose between either having the window kind of parallel to you or directly in front of you. Now, as your second option, if you don't have lovely natural light in the space that you're filming in, you may need to turn to artificial light. I personally have the Godox LD18 bicolor light. This is a tiny little compact LED light panel where I can adjust both the brightness and the color temperature. I can either plug it into the wall or use one of these big batteries to power it. So it's very convenient to use. I can set it up wherever I'm filming, and I'll often use it as kind of a fill light. So if my window is my key light providing the majority of the light on my face, I'll use this LED light panel as a little fill light to soften the shadows that would show up on the other side of my face. For the best effect here, I would put the light higher up than your eye level where you're sitting and kind of angle it down and make sure that it's on a 45-degree angle to you rather than straight on. I find this provides the most flattering look. And also, hot tip, if you have glasses like me and you struggle with getting glare on them, raise that light up and angle it down. You're gonna get glare on your glasses if you have a light that is eye level with you, just facing straight onto you. So if you can have it up higher and angle it down, you'll eliminate that. Another option is you can take an artificial light and you can bounce it off of a wall to get more diffused lighting. This is something that I like to do when I'm filming over in my kitchen, which is further back from my windows, so it's a bit darker. And I never film with the overhead lights on in my apartment, so when I'm filming in my kitchen, I'll use the LED light panel and I'll bounce it off of my white walls to kind of just fill the space, make it a little bit brighter. One last note on lighting, consider placing practical lights, as they call them in Hollywood, or just lights that appear within your scene. It just makes your video feel a little bit more alive, a little bit more dynamic. Examples of practical lights that you could include would be something like my little mushroom lamp or even a candle. Tip number 3, learn good composition. Knowing how to compose your shot well, AKA where to put your subject within the frame, what your background looks like, all of that stuff goes a long way to making your iPhone videos look a lot more professional. And you can use your grid lines to help with that. So here's another setting that I want you to turn on. Open up your settings app again, scroll down to camera, and then under composition, we're gonna turn on the grid. If you want, you could also turn on your level because that will make sure that like your horizon is straight. So if you're filming like this, you're not like on a slight angle. This way you'll have the guides appear whenever you're filming with your phone so you can reference them to use the following 2 rules of composition that you might want to try out. The first one is symmetry. If you want to stick to a symmetrical kind of composition, then you're going to want to place yourself in the center of the frame and make sure that both sides of the frame have equal visual weight. This doesn't mean that the 2 sides need to be identical necessarily, but you do want to make sure that they have roughly the same amount of stuff, for lack of a better word, in the background so that it doesn't feel like really uneven. Symmetry is a great composition style that can make your talking head shot look a lot more like professional and just intentional. Another option for your composition is following the rule of thirds. The thirds refer to the grid lines that we just turned on your camera. You can see that your screen is now made up of like 9 boxes. So you have thirds vertically and horizontally. To use this style of composition as the subject, you want to place yourself on one of those thirds lines. So you're either kind of on the left or the right of the frame. No matter your approach, you want to make sure that the eyes of your subject end up around that top horizontal third line. This is just a good way to make sure that you've got the right amount of headroom and you're not cutting off the forehead or the chin of your subject. Tip number 4, add more visuals to your videos. In addition to all the beautiful high quality footage that you're capturing with your iPhone, if you want your YouTube videos to look really professional, a great way to do that is by adding additional dynamic visuals. Maybe some extra B-roll or even some animations or title graphics or sound effects. And you can get all of those media assets from Storyblocks, the sponsor of today's video. Storyblocks is an online stock media library that content creators can get unlimited access to for one predictable monthly subscription price. So you don't have to worry about a costly pay-per-clip system really adding up over the course of a project. I myself am a happy long-term user of Storyblocks, and I'm constantly going there to download 4K stock footage to use in my videos, or even animations or kind of like visual textures or overlays. One that I use all the time is this paper background. I got that on Storyblocks. I'm also a big fan of this film grain texture that I like to use for transitions or to make video clips look more vintage, and pretty much any sound effect that you might need, like the sound of a mouse clicking or typing on a keyboard. You can find that on Storyblocks too. If you want to try out Storyblocks for yourself to start making your YouTube videos more professional and visually dynamic, then you can go to storyblocks.com/Katie or click on the link in the description to go check it out. And thanks again to Storyblocks for sponsoring today's video. Tip number 5, always film with the back camera. It's higher quality, it's always gonna look better, just trust me. Okay, but if you don't trust me, just take a look at these example clips that I did. This is the same location, same lighting. You can really see the difference between filming on the selfie camera versus filming on my 1x lens on the back of my phone. You can already see that the back camera quality is just a little bit crisper, but it's especially more obvious when you're filming in less than great lighting. Like if it's a little bit dark, you'll see that the selfie camera becomes grainy way faster. But you might wonder, how am I supposed to use all those good tips about composition and frame my shot when I can't see myself? And that is a challenge, but thankfully I have a hack for you. Okay, actually I have 2 hacks. The first one is helpful for you if you own an Apple Watch. You can actually use your Apple Watch as a mini monitor for your phone camera. All you have to do is go to the apps pages on your Apple Watch, look for the little camera icon and open it up while you have your camera app open on your iPhone. You should automatically be able to see what your phone camera is seeing on your watch. I'll be honest, it can be a little bit glitchy, so if you need to, you might need to close out of the app on your watch and your phone a couple of times until it starts working. But once it does, it is very helpful because you're able to see what your phone camera is seeing. So you can confirm that your framing looks good, and you can even start and stop recording from your watch too. All right, second hack. If you don't have an Apple Watch, you can still kind of use this method with a MacBook. So you're gonna wanna get your phone all set up where you plan to film, and once it's looking good, once you like the framing from behind the phone, you're gonna swipe down and look for the screen mirroring icon. Tap on that and then select your laptop or whatever device you have, and the screen of your phone will show up on your laptop. So now you're able to monitor what your framing looks like from your computer while you're filming on your phone. Once you've confirmed that the framing looks good, you can start recording on your phone, and then I would recommend exiting out of screen mirroring because it does become a little bit laggy And anyway, you wanna focus on looking into the lens. That's actually the benefit of recording with the back cameras on your phone, is that you're not tempted to be constantly looking at yourself on your phone screen, which becomes really obvious because wouldn't it be annoying if I spent the entire video looking at myself in the monitor? Yeah, it would. So you wanna look in the lens of your camera. So by screen mirroring or using your Apple Watch, you can double check the framing when you get started, and then you can hit record and just focus on looking into the lens. Throughout this video, you've seen me use a couple of these already, but I just wanted to highlight a few tools that I think make filming good videos with your iPhone so much easier. Number one is a tripod. This Yukos one is my favorite tripod for filming just with your phone. It's about $30 Canadian or $21 US, and it is so worth it compared to just having to film everything by holding up your phone. Like, it's just a game changer. It's also really small and compact and easy to take along with you. Second one is microphones. The audio recorded on iPhones is fine, but it's not amazing, especially if you want to stand further away from your phone and still continue to get good audio. For that, I would recommend these DJI mics that you can plug the receiver directly into your phone, clip the microphone onto your shirt, and you're ready to get great audio. This is what the iPhone audio sounds like with no microphone. This is just the natural original audio that you're gonna hear out of the camera. And this is what the iPhone audio sounds like when I have the DJI Mic 2s plugged in and I've got one clipped on my shirt here. You really notice the difference when you are any kind of distance from the camera at all. This is what it sounds like with no microphone when I'm standing far away. And here's what the DJI mics sound like again. It's the exact same no matter how far I get away from the camera, because the microphone is moving with me. And finally, number three, you might want to get a light. Like I mentioned before, I like my Godox light panel. You can adjust that brightness and the color temperature. You can easily throw it on a little tripod with the battery plugged in and move it anywhere in your house that you need. It's just a really convenient way of improving that lighting, which, like I said before, makes a big difference in how good your videos look. Okay, we're gonna call this tip number 7, but really it's 3 more quick hacks that I think are gonna be really useful for you. Okay, first one, clean your phone's lenses. I feel like people often get frustrated that their photos are looking kind of blurry or just like not as good quality as they used to. And really what's happening is our greasy fingers have been all over our phones. Okay, like our phones honestly get disgusting. So if you want your photos or your videos to look better, get out a little glasses cloth and clean off the lenses. Second hack, you're gonna wanna regularly transfer your video clips over from your phone onto your laptop or some external hard drive, because we all know just how quickly phone storage gets filled up. One easy way to do this is by airdropping clips from your phone to your laptop, but if you have a ton of video footage, airdropping can take forever. So my preferred way of doing it is plugging my phone into my laptop and using the app that comes pre-installed on Mac called Image Capture. You open up Image Capture and you can select the photos or videos that you want to transfer off your phone. You can just click and drag them out of Image Capture and into the folder where you want to save them. You can even check this box for deleting after import so that your videos automatically get cleared off of your phone once they've been transferred onto your laptop. Tip number 3, you're probably going to want to get a good battery bank. If you're using your phone to film all the time, you're going to find that it dies a lot faster than just with typical everyday use. I have this battery bank from Anker, but really there's a ton of good ones on Amazon. I would just say you want to look for one that charges quickly, because that way when you're on the go, you can kind of put your phone into your bag, plug it in for maybe like an hour, and then you'll have like a substantially more charged phone after that amount of time. You don't want one that takes like 8 hours to charge your phone. And that is how you can get good quality videos filming with your phone. If you want to learn about what I think is the best free video editing software for YouTubers, you should watch this video next. And if you made it to this point in the video, drop me a little iPhone emoji in the comments, because you are part of the elite end of the video club. So thanks for making it this far. It really helps me out. You can also like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell to help me out as well, or just watch this next video. That's really great too. As always, I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.